What's going on, guys? Sparky here from NoNamed Gaming, and welcome back to NNG Motorsports. If you haven't checked out our first ever race in the F1 2020 My Career Mode, we are the 11th team. We raced at Australia last week. Make sure to check out that previous video. But we did unfortunately have an unfortunate ending. We ended up spinning out, I think, twice. We ended up breaking our front wing once. And we would have ended up making 3 pit stops. I just said at the end, screw it, we're just going to call it a race. So we ended up finishing P21. No points for us because our teammate also finishing outside of the points. But it's a new week. We're going to try and turn things around at Bahrain. Maybe look for a points finish or something pretty close to it. So let's take a look at what we got going on around HQ. We got some facilities we can upgrade, but we don't have the money for it quite yet because we need 2 mil. So we don't have that 2 mil quite yet. R&D, we've got some stuff coming hopefully soon. It looks like we had a failure in the weight reduction. And then we've got 3 more in development still, which don't look like they'll be on the car for Bahrain, which is the 19th. So taking a look at activities, we only have a little bit of time here, so let's do let's see, we can do sponsor event, weight training to help out our second driver, or we can do some aero team building. We're gonna go for some aero team building so we can work on getting those nice morale boosts. Let's take a look and see if we can fix that failed upgrade. We don't have the points quite yet. We will later on in the week, so we'll be able to get that upgraded. Taking a look here at progression history, everybody else getting a slight little boost here. We are now below Haas, it looks like, heading into the second weekend of the season. We can sign a second sponsor, so taking a look here, I'm looking for the highest income, so let's see. It looks like Atlantic is probably going to be the one to go with. 75 laps in a race weekend. Equity Oil, definitely not going to be one to achieve fastest lap during a race. That ain't going to happen. Overtake 15 different drivers. Yeah, some of these are pretty outlandish. Overtake 10 different drivers during a weekend. Complete all practice programs. That gives us a nice little gold bonus of 104k. I think what we'll do, I like the logo, XXY. We're going to go with them as our second sponsor, and we'll throw them on the car. So, with that, here's a look at the standings, just to kind of review how things looked after last week. So we're going to head on down. We'll get started with qualifying 1. We'll see you guys down at the track. Welcome on board, guys. For Q1, we've got our first flying lap here. We come across the line, get the timer started. The car felt really good during practice. We were setting really good times. I think it moved really well around corners. We were getting some decent straight line speed for being one of the slower cars on the field in Australia. So we'll see if that holds true here today in Bahrain. We bumped the difficulty to 80. I know last video I was talking about keeping it at 75 because we really didn't get to see what the car can do in Australia. But it felt really good during practice, so I figured let's challenge ourselves. Let's see what we can do on expert difficulty instead of just hard. Because we were setting our fastest time during practice is a 1:30. I don't remember the 10th of the second time, but a 1:30, pretty quick considering we are at the bottom of the field. We're taking some turns a little wide here, focusing more on talking than I am driving. We'll see. I mean, the car, again, still feels really, really good. We're running 6.6 wings, so right in the middle there in terms of downforce. We saw earlier on the research and development chart that our chassis upgrade we were going for failed, so we had to re-put that in, and we actually put in for another downforce upgrade as well because we had the resource points from practice between myself and Jack Aiken. So coming around the final corner, we're going to come up to the line. What's it going to be? Ricardo, 129.6. We're not going to beat it. We get a 136. Not the best, but it could be a little bit better. I took some corners wide, so we'll see how it goes. We're going to head into the garage and see if we need to run another time. All right, so after Q1, we ended up going for one more flying lap. However, we forgot to put on fresh sauce. We ended up spinning out in the third sector, so let's see. Did we make it? No, we get bumped out by literally 1/10 of a second. Roman Grosjean able to upset us there. So we'll be starting P17 back of the grid. Jack Aiken sitting P19. It's a teammate right there behind us. We'll see how it goes as we head down for race day. So we'll see you guys down on Sunday.
The stage is set for another enthralling race here in the Kingdom of Bahrain. A Ferrari stronghold in years gone by, but will they be able to add to their record today? Formula One returns to the desert today on this exceptional 3.36 mile circuit. 15 corners provide plenty of overtaking opportunities. It could be a strategic race, this one, with Sakir notorious for eating up the rear tyres. Watch out for drivers managing their rubber at some point during the Grand Prix. Now, Anthony Davidson, I wonder, might we be in for some early pit stops today from the midfield teams, all trying to put some pressure on or disrupting things for the leaders up front?
If you're in the middle of the pack, you got your own race to run, I don't think they're going to be thinking about causing trouble up front. However, closer to the head of the pack, don't be surprised to see some split strategies. If you're running second and third, for example, bringing one car in for an undercut while leaving the other one out there longer can put a lot of pressure on the leader and maybe force them into an error.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Verstappen, Alexander Albon, and Sainz, Ricciardo, Perez, Norris, and Esteban Ocon, Vettel, Stroll, Kimi Raikkonen, and Gasly, Kvyat, Grosjean, the owner driver, and Antonio Giovinazzi, Aitken, Russell, Magnussen, and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Thanks, Jeff. I'll try not to let you down after last week. So here we go. One-stop strategy, medium to hard, and we're going to underfuel the car just a little bit. So here we go. Let's head down for the 5 red lights and the start of the Bahrain Grand Prix. We got Grosjean on the right, Kvyat right in front of us off to the start, and it's going to be a little bit of a rough one, but we get it going there. We're going to try and pull past Kvyat and Gasly, Raikkonen and Stroll going at it as we're going to pull in behind the Iceman. Actually, we're going to pull on alongside him as we see a little bit of bumping here going up between the top guys. And we end up filing into P10 right behind the McLarens. We're going to look to go inside of Lando and Norris. Carlos Sainz in front of him. And we're going to kick it into Rich as we look for the inside, a little loose on the brakes as we push him a little bit, getting the elbows out, trying to defend and get 9th place. We do lock it in, it looks like. Yes, we do, as we go a little late through that one. And now we're trying to chase down his teammate, Carlos Sainz. A little bit of a battle there, it looks like, between Daniel Ricciardo and Sergio Perez.
Well done, mate. Nice start.
But it looks like things have settled out here. So not a bad start. 9th place. We got a sandwich of McLarens here. And then we got, it looks like Esteban Ocon and Raikkonen. Vettel sitting back in P13. Not a very good start for the Ferrari. He didn't have a good qualifying session. I think he was 14th to start. So we'll see if he's able to turn his day around. We now dive into the corner, trying to catch up to Sainz. Got some ERS to work with. We will at least use it to get the engine started down the straight and then kick it off. We're going to see if maybe on the start-finish straight we can make a move here, get some slipstream, make something happen. It's going to be pretty tough, though, as they've got us beating straight line speed all the way Gonna use some of that slipstream. We got Norris behind us trying to catch up. He's
Okay,
unable
you're in
to
the top
close the
10.
gap, but first lap through, not a bad start.
You haven't declared a rival yet, so I can't give you updates.
I did not mean to hit rival update. I wanted to see my teammate. Alright, let's try it again. So we want teammate
Gap to
stats.
teammate behind is 3.7 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. They're in 15th. The time last lap was a 1 minute 44.0.
So not a bad start for Jack Aiken. He comes in at 15th after having not the best qualifying day starting in 19th. Neither of us did though. I started P17, but a good jump off the start really launched us where we're at, 9th place now. Trying to get signs, we just cannot seem to bring it within the range to get some slipstream and really pull up. But, however, we've got DRS next lap. We're running low on gas as we are really running into Rich. But as long as we can keep that second gap into that first DRS zone out of corner number 3, we can try and pull ourselves along here to make a move on him. Closing in on Carlos Sainz. We go for the dive bomb and he takes us out. That ends up putting us back now to P13. It's not terrible here, as we actually could have been much, much worse, but that front wing damage definitely going to hurt us. We are within range to get some DRS off of Sebastian Vettel. And Stroll behind, but what could have been a really good start to this one ends up really biting us in the long run. Now we're stuck playing catch-up here with the Ferrari, which is not a fun game you want to be playing. And that was all on me. I mean, I should have seen that coming. I didn't have a window there, yet I tried to make something out of absolutely nothing. Looks like we're going to be right on the brink there of maybe keeping Stroll out of DRS. We're too far away from Vettel to get DRS. And they're starting to pull away from us here. Lap number 5 coming up. And we're, again, kind of stranded in no man's land. Just trying to see what we can do here now with some front wing damage.
Caution, caution, yellow
Yellow
flags
flags up ahead, so let's see
overtaking
what's
through
going
the
to happen
caution
here.
zone. Be careful until you see the greens.
Charles Leclerc out of the race, and that's going to possibly shape things up here as now Ferrari, they're on top of constructors through week 1, get a DNF here at Bahrain. That's it though, just one
Okay,
yellow
clear.
flag, everything's all clear. So just
Gap
normal
to
running
teammate
here.
behind
Let's
is
see, where is Jack
9.2
Aiken?
seconds. They're
Aiken.
on old mediums. They're in 18th.
18th,
The time
so he's
last
dropped
lap was
off a little bit, rather unfortunate.
1:37.6.
Oh, we ended up losing that 1 second gap there.
Our gap to the car in front
We got
is
some pits going on with the
3.7
top
seconds.
guys. And so now we are out of the DRS zone, it looks like. That's unfortunate. Esteban Ocon, though, gets overtaken by Raikkonen and Vettel. The double overtake there from the two of them. And the old teammates working up once more here as they take over the Renault. And so we see the Alfa Romeo currently sitting P6. We're in P9. We could have been higher if we hadn't had that issue with signs earlier. Here we go. We're going to look to make a move on Ocon here on the start-finish straight. We're both going to have DRS because he's got Raikkonen within range. He's a little slow out of the corners as his softs are wearing out. He's going to go for the pit. We're going to follow him a little bit just to at least get some slipstream. And we're going to see if we can rocket this car a little bit closer towards Raikkonen. We now move up into, it looks like, P5 after some more stops have been made. Vettel on the medium, so he's going to be going the distance here with us. Raikkonen sitting P4. Now we get DRS off of him. He doesn't have, oh no, he does have the DRS off of Vettel. So lap number 8, we're sitting P4, looking to maybe see if we can close this gap and make a move on Raikkonen. to get one step closer to a podium spot. It won't be a podium finish, though. We still need to make our stop for the hards here, and I think it's about 5 laps now.
We've been awarded a time penalty. It will go against our finishing time at the end of the race.
Well, that's unfortunate. I ran that corner just a little wide on the exit, so I end up getting a penalty. I didn't think I had the 3 warnings. Apparently I did, so that's going to be 3 seconds at the end. So right now, if the race were to stop, we would be in P6 because we would be behind Lance Stroll. So hopefully we don't make any more stupid mistakes and we can hold on here to the end. We're trying to close the gap on Raikkonen, but just cannot seem to bring it within reach. He's got a lot of speed out of that nice Ferrari engine. We just cannot seem to close this gap.
Caution, caution.
Oh, we have a caution up ahead. Or at least I think it's up ahead. We'll see. Valtteri Bottas out of the Grand Prix.
They've got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
And so that's another one out of here. As we take a nice corner cut there. No warning though.
Green flag.
We are now into P4. Still, again, you just can't close that gap on Raikkonen. He just has too much speed on us, and we can't seem to bring it within striking distance. Here comes our opportunity to make the move. We're going to look to go around with the DRS. We come out, not the best start on the exit, but we get this slipstream going. It's not going to be enough, though, as we don't have the opening. We're going to have to file in behind him. Maybe see if we can make this move happen around the start-finish straight. We're going to keep it in rich, try and use some of that fuel we have to work with. Keep it up with him. We're going to run a little wide, but that's okay. We're out here. This is where we really run wide. We got to be careful on the exit. There we go. We keep it nice and tight. We are right on his tail. We're not going to make it happen here, but the start-finish straight, when we get the DRS, we'll be able to make a move on him. Can we get it done, though? It would be P3. It would be a podium spot. We kick it into overtake. And we're going to look for the rich mix here. We're going to pull ahead, really closing the gap. Now, will he be able to block us? Oh, wait, never mind. We're not going to get even closer. He's actually putting some distance on us. No DRS left. So we're going to have about one more lap until our stop. And we actually come up right on the gearbox of Kimi Räikkönen. And he is doing a great job at keeping us at bay. Another opportunity to overtake, but it's not going to happen. We don't have a lot of room here. We're going to just file in behind him and wait our time yet again. It'd be great to get that overtake done before the pit, which is next lap. We might be able to hold out a little bit longer, but I don't think we want to stretch the tires too far here. He's doing a really good job, though. So consistent, and that is what's really keeping the distance here. Really rough out of that turn, and so I think he's going to be able to hold on to P3 as we go into the pits. I don't know if he's going to pit this lap or the next one with us. We'll have to wait and see.
That you maintain our gap if possible. We're boxing this lap. Give us the best in lap you can.
So here we go. We're on to our... oh! We come to a grinding halt there as Hamilton comes out of the pits. He is in P2 and just parks it into the turn one on Kimi Räikkönen. It really messes us up. We were going to be really close to being able to make a move on Kimi, but never mind. That's gone out the window. We are going to pit this lap, though. The tires are really starting to go off. That last lap, a whole second slower than our fastest. So we're really starting to pull back in terms of time. So we're going to switch to the hards here at the end of the lap. Will we be able to overtake Raikkonen in the pits, though? If we can get this window close enough, we might have an opportunity. Let's see the DRS coming through. We've got some ERS to work with. We're going to deploy it as we look to pull up here. It's going to be a really far gap, though, as he gets a really nice exit on the corner. final sector. We've got Max Verstappen, the leader right now on the fastest lap, right on our tail, which is not going to matter because we're going to be pulling off here in a moment. But Hamilton just flew away from Raikkonen, not even close. Here we go, we're going to go into the pits, see what we can do as we swing it wide. Yes, Raikkonen is coming in with us, and we slam on the brakes as we almost run into the back end of Raikkonen. So here we go, will we be able to get it done? Please be quick, pit crew. This would be huge if we can come past him. .2, not too bad. We come right behind him. Oh, we couldn't get it done. So close. So we're going to come out. We're going to be behind our teammate, and it looks like Esteban Ocon as well. Our teammate going for the overcut here. We return to the racing line behind Raikkonen. Once more, we both are on the hards. We're going to look to hunt him down, see if we can get it done and overtake him. Alright, so coming up on the start-finish straight, I would assume Aiken, is coming in this lap. He will be Ocon, gonna hang out still. He is, I think, he might be doing the one stop on the video. I wouldn't think so. Unless he's just going for the overcut here.
The gap to the car behind is 4.0 seconds.
Let's see after the pits where our teammate is. Give me 1 second. Once we get to a straight spot here, I'll be able to check in with him. Alright, let's check how Aiken's doing.
We're leading our teammate by 22.7 seconds. They're on fresh hards. They're in 18th.
They came out, not very good spot, 18th. We try to get the move on Raikkonen on the outside, can't get it done. And so we're going to look again. It's going to let Ocon get away, though. We tie up Raikkonen. So now we're 9th, 10th, and 11th for this crew. And right now, even with that 3-second penalty we have, that puts us still in 11th place, just outside of the points. We could definitely get the move done. That would put us in a points finishing position, but would it be enough? We'd really have to close out the gap here with Raikkonen. For a nice run out of the turn here, and it's not going to be enough. Again, we see him wobble a little bit out of the corner, but he's just going to have too much speed. However, more pits happening on the right-hand side, and we're going to now slide into P7. Will we be able to hold this spot in the points, though? We have a, let's see, it's almost a 6-second gap on Lance Stroll. And the more we get DRS, the more we can spread that gap on him. Esteban Ocon sliding off for the pits. Now this could be our opportunity to try and get Raikkonen. This is going to be interesting as now 4-5 on the order, back end of the field in the Alfa Romeo and NG Motorsports. And we're currently knocking on the door for a top 5 finish. Raikkonen a little loose out of the corner. He doesn't have DRS. We do, though. We're going to kick it into overtake. Look for the dive bomb. Perhaps he's a little early on the brakes. We're late, and we're going to get the move done here into the corner. And we have P4. Now the question is, can we hold him off? And we have 3-second penalty.
7.6 seconds.
We got 3 seconds. We also need to keep ahead of Lance Stroll if we want to keep. That would be P5. If we can set that gap with Raikkonen, I mean, that'd be huge. But Raikkonen has proven how quick he really is, because we cannot seem to, other than that moment, we cannot get around him. But if we can work with each other, we might be able to spread this gap with Stroll even bigger. So here we go. Looks like we're going to have Kimi going down the outside. He's not going to go for it. Very interesting. Thought he was going to try and make that move happen. Now we're going to have to worry about him on the start-finish straight. DR zone number 3. He's going to look for the inside, I bet. We kick it into overtake, trying to see if we can hold him off. We're guarding that inside. He's going to go outside. We give him the room. He's going to be able to get the job done, though, as we hold up the brakes a bit too much. But it works in our favor because we get DRS on him. Now we're going to see if we can pull off a similar move on him. We had such a hard trouble overtaking him in the first place. It took us quite a while to get a move on him. We've been battling with him, feels like now, for about 10 laps or so. So here we go. We're going to look for the dive bomb on Kimi. He hits the brakes. We hit them really late there. We go into the inside. Can we make it stick, though? It's going to be pretty tough as we go on the outside, which is going to turn to the inside here into the turn. We get the move. It's almost there, but we got to watch the extension here. Almost going too far out wide. We will get DRS again on this straight, though. A little bit of a hard press there on the exit. Causes a little bit of spin in the back end. Now here we go. Another DRS zone. Another opportunity to overtake Kimi. Can we get it done, though, into overtake with DRS? We're going to have plenty of speed here as we slingshot him, and we're going to be able to get into the inside. And it looks like that's going to get the move done. Now can we hold him off? We got Lance Stroll back there closing in that 3-second gap. Definitely need to put it into high gear here in a second if we want to try and hold on to 5th place. And scratch that. We get a second penalty
for that last incident.
Well, apparently I'm really bad about extending the track here, because it's the second time that's happened now. We're at least on paper going to have P4. We'll see how things turn out in the long run, though. And actually, could we set another fastest lap here at the end? Track definitely heating up. A little bit of a loose turn there as we hit the gas a little too hard. And Lewis Hamilton is going to be the winner of your second race here of the season, the Bahrain Grand Prix. As we see a DNF from both a Mercedes and a Ferrari. It could be a really good day in terms of Red Bull, depending on where we see Alexander Albon finish. Almost losing there as we run on the curb, and we're not going to hit another fastest lap, but we could still try and spread this gap. Stroll finally overtaking Raikkonen. He's going to try and get into us, but he's going to be too far back. We're over a second away, so it's going to be P4 on paper. We'll see what it's going to be at the very end here once we add the penalties all up. Come up to the finish line, and that is a much better race than last week.
All right, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
That's it for another spectacular Grand Prix here in Bahrain, and a real champion's drive to take the win. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes.
So congratulations to Lewis Hamilton for a race well run. He ends up getting first over Vettel, and then Verstappen in third. And then we finished P8, so we still were in the top 10. We got our first points finish of the season. Not a bad run whatsoever. All right, so taking a look at things, we finished P8, and we actually see a couple two-stoppers. Really interesting. The one stop, though, I mean, 5 of, technically, we'll add me in there. 6 of the top runners here were 1 stops. Bottom of the order, yeah, definitely not as well. Jack Aiken coming in a solid P19. He didn't move anywhere on the grid. Rather unfortunate there. Hoping that he'd be able to overtake at least the Williams. The Haas also running a little slow. But we get our first points finish of the season. That's going to give us 4 points, put us 13th in the drivers. Constructors, that puts us in 8th. That currently is achieving our season goal from our primary sponsor. So let's see if we got any interview questions.
The fans really seem to enjoy that. You made it look easy. You gained a lot of positions during the race, didn't you?
Yeah, we definitely were doing really well. The power was definitely not the advantage. I think it was the car was really sticking to the track. I mean, it went into the corners really, really well. We had a lot of good traction.
You really looked in control of your car out there. Your team must be thrilled.
Absolutely, yeah. We could not do it without the team. If it weren't for them, we wouldn't be able to do what we were able to do today.
Appreciate your time.
All right, so with that, that wraps up the second race weekend, Bahrain. And 8th place would have been even higher if we hadn't been as careless as we were and gotten the penalties. We had P4 on paper, end up finishing P8. We're almost up there for driver acclaim, for team acclaim. We got all race weekend programs, so we get an extra 116. I have a little bit of damage, yeah, I know, so an extra 90 there. And with that, guys, that's going to be our second race weekend at Bahrain. So thank you for tuning in. Make sure you So that'll be our second race weekend at Bahrain. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you like the video, make sure to hit that like button down below and to drop a subscribe. If you haven't already, make sure you ring that notification bell so you can get notified whenever our next race weekend goes live. We will have the Vietnam Grand Prix coming up next, so it's going to be a lot of fun to see one of the newest tracks in F1. We're going to try and see if we can get a points finish yet again, the newest team of the F1 circuit, the NNG Motorsports. Thank you guys for tuning in. My name has been Sparky, and I'll see you next time.